All right, we've got head coach Dave Rubio here, and we'll open it up for questions for Coach.
So, Dave, how'd you feel about the way those first three sets kind of started, where they had to come back and then they kind of buckled down in the fourth and put it away?
Okay, so I heard, how do I feel about the
first three sets, you guys got behind a little bit and then kind of,
right.
got it together. And then in the fourth, really buckled down. How'd you feel about the way things went?
Well, personally, I don't like it. It's always a little disconcerting when I feel like we're not playing particularly well. I felt like the entire weekend we weren't that sharp. But with so many young players playing, I think that just kind of goes with the territory. And so I don't like being down 2-1, but I also like being up 2-1. So it was nice that the response that we had was a good one. And, the hope is that it just continues our progress in becoming the team that we potentially can be with time.
And with Emery, how'd you feel about her decision-making today compared to some previous matches?
So I'm asking about Emery?
Right. And her decision-making about where to set and that sort of thing.
I thought that Emery struggled a bit today with more about her location than it was about decision-making. I thought her decision-making for the most part was good. Our offense wasn't particularly very sharp, but I thought the location was a struggle for her and a little bit inconsistent. Again, I think that just kind of goes with the territory when you're, have a freshman setter. So, there's a lot on her plate. So I try not to get too down on her because of, her, whatever a set selection might be or a location might be. It's just every opportunity for her to continue to get some experience and a live experience like she did this weekend is an opportunity for her to get better.
And China, did you take her out just for precautionary, or was she injured?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. She got nailed in the head, so I'm not quite sure where we are with the concussion protocol. But the unfortunate part is we weren't supposed to be blocking on that play that she got hit in the head. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed and she'll be okay. She said she was fine after the game, but you never know with these kind of injuries.
Right. And how'd you feel about how Merle did when she came in there in that for China? For Merle?
Merle did a nice job. Merle gives us something a little bit different than the other two middles provide. And so Merle lacks a little bit of physicality, but, her timing and her effort level and her perseverance and her attitude is really a cut above. And so she really adds a different element that the other two don't. And so that's why you saw Emery not hesitate to set her. So I think that part's been really good.
And I know you talked at the beginning of the season about being in the top half of hoping to be in the top half of the conference, and you're right around there right now. So how do you feel overall?
Yeah, it's a little bit too early in the season. I was actually talking to the team about we're pretty close to the halfway mark right now. And I always felt like we would hit our stride going into the second half. And so hopefully, that happens and we continue to improve. I think our system is pretty much in place now. We can really start focusing on some individual training, which is what I think that we need more than anything at this time. But I think that the second half of the season we'll start to play better, but so will the other teams. I mean, that's the other part of it. I mean, the teams that have a lot of young players like ourselves, they'll continue to improve. So I think the next week we're at UCLA, and UCLA is a handful, of course. They always are, and they have a lot of talent. Then we're playing them on the road at their place. So the hope is that we'll continue to get a little bit better and put ourselves in a position to compete with a team like UCLA.
And of course, we have to ask about Sophia and her efficiency and her effectiveness, and just how you're feeling about her development.
This is about Sophia?
Right. About how effective and efficient she was over the weekend.
Well, you know what's interesting before we got to game 3 or in the middle of game 3, she was literally on fire. I don't know what their stats were. I was surprised looking at the end of the match that her stats were as good as they were. I mean, she hit over 300. She struggled in the second half of the third game, and in game 4, it started to get a little bit hard for her. It started getting blocked a little bit more. What was getting dug, and so I thought in the first half she was terrific and really carving the ball around the block and getting a lot of scoring quite a bit. And so the second half of the sets, I thought that she struggled. But it's kind of our rock. You know, with Paige out, she's the one that kind of takes over Paige's load. And, you know, so far this weekend, I thought overall she had a terrific weekend.
Great. Thanks a lot, Dave, and talk to you later this week.
Thanks, Kim. I appreciate it. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, guys. All right, we've got Emery Herman and Jalen Hodge here. We'll open up for questions.
Okay. Emery, I know Dave asked a lot of his setters. How do you feel you're coming along, and how did you feel it went today?
I think there's a lot of confidence that has been coming up as we go on, just getting used to the system, getting used to running a 501, getting used to having, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, feedback on every set, which is nice for me because I've never had that. But yeah, been going good.
And Jalen, how do you feel that the hitters are meshing with Emery as their setter?
I think I think it's good. We all enjoy being around each other, and I think just the hitters, like, their problem is just finding the attacking line and being confident in where to hit.
And you guys got off to kind of a little bit of a slow start the first 3 sets, but you're able to kind of bring it back. How'd you get it back together?
I think we realized, like, wow, like, we need to get this done. Like, we should not have lost that set. Like, it was kind of a reality check for us, the 4th set, losing that 4th set. So I think it just brought us all back together to start the 4th.
Yeah.
And for you, Jalen, how'd you feel about the way things progressed over the match, kind of having to come back in the first 3 and then having to kind of buckle down in that 4th set?
Yeah, I think just picking up our errors and letting them make the errors and not us was the main part of that, coming back.
Thanks.
You guys got any more questions? All right, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.